In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the upcoming overall pattern, but specifically today, we're going to be taking a look at the multi-day severe weather outbreak that starts today. Let's get straight into things, and first things first, we're taking a look here at our actual radar here that is ongoing right now. And we can see all this energy up here in the western United States. This is all going to transfer over the central United States throughout the day today, and this evening, we are going to see our first round of that severe weather, like I mentioned, especially in this region. We're going to be watching for that severe weather outbreak. Day one to start in here today. Day two is going to be more in the in-between areas, and then day three will be mostly for the eastern United States. There's obviously a lot of energy out here, and this is what's really going to allow for this to even take place in the first place. So we're already seeing things getting going here over the Rockies. We do have both live streams scheduled, by the way. If you didn't see yesterday's video, we did schedule the first stream, which is going to be the one that goes on today. You can click that in the description or the pinned comment down below. But also tomorrow's stream for the risk over the Deep South in portions of the Ohio Valley and areas like that. We also are going to have that one in the pinned comment and the description. You can set a reminder by clicking those links and setting the reminder underneath the video, and also liking the streams will help a lot, so I appreciate that. We're going to be going live both days as this energy crosses the entire United States. Now let's go ahead and zoom into some different regions here. There's obviously some snowfall taking place. Let me go a little bit further north than that. There we go. So we do see that there is quite a bit of precipitation in here. We do see some snowfall here over western Montana taking place, and it's actually kind of transferred back up in here near Great Falls, I-15 region, kind of where I-15 meets I-90 as well. So we see those areas seeing some snowfall around. There's also a lot of rainfall for some regions. It really just depends on your elevation right now if you're in the Rockies. Now, it's the same story as we head further south. There's plenty of rainfall and plenty of snowfall going on. Snowfall mostly for the southern Rockies here. Also portions here in Arizona, we see that taking place. Take a note here of this really strong southern jet coming in. So that's eventually that energy, that northward transferring energy is eventually going to be coming in from here. When that really quick lower level jet is heading in from here, something in between today and tomorrow with the severe weather threats, that's when we will really get the heart of this outbreak, when that low-level jet reaches in to the Gulf, because this is really warm and really humid air. So once we see that really bringing this northward, that's when we're going to be looking at some serious impacts. Now, there is some showers around for Illinois here, Indiana, even Kentucky in here. We're seeing some of this. So for this entire region, we are seeing a lot of this precipitation. It is quite light, but there is just this pocket of showers moving through. That's definitely worth noting. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on and take a look at some modeled guidance, and then eventually we're going to break down that severe weather outbreak, like I said. Now, let's walk through this overall pattern real quickly. We can see the storm really move into the Rockies. This is going to be by about maybe 2 or 3 p.m. today, Tuesday, March 29th here. We see plenty of this energy in here. And as we can see, over time, what ends up happening is this storm really gets going up here, and this front develops down below. So we see plenty of these storms developing in here. This is by about maybe 10 or 11 p.m. tonight, heading into almost early tomorrow. So very late on the 29th today, into very early on Wednesday the 30th tomorrow. Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, all of these regions seeing these storms developing quite rapidly. And as you can see, they just absolutely blow up as we head towards about 5 a.m. I don't know how long I'm going to be live tonight. I'm guessing it won't be until 5 a.m., but I'm going to try to go as long as I possibly can. You guys know I'm on a very early waking up schedule and going to bed very early schedule, so I'm going to have to really break that schedule today for you guys and be ready to go by tomorrow afternoon, again, for an even bigger severe weather day. Absolutely madness, but this is what the springtime calls for in the weather world. We see this storm eventually moves through into here. This is by about 2 p.m. tomorrow, so we're going to start to see this activity building into here. Here we go. And by this point, we're going to see really this Gulf air really able to work its way into all these storms. That is just going to heighten everything, and then we see them eventually move through. This will be day 3, and we have that energy in there, and then eventually moves out. And then this is kind of what we're left with. We do get this little bit of storminess moving through here, over the next couple of days over the weekend, and then very quiet, but we do get this next storm developing by approximately the 5th. That's going to be about Tuesday, and we do see that this is a very similar storm here, something like this, and it moves through, and this would be our next severe weather outbreak likely at some point. So as we head into early April, or about next week, we could be having our next major storm, and this will also be followed by some very cold air again. So this seems to be the trend that we're in right now, is just, a flip-floppy pattern a little bit. So we get things going a little bit back and forth. We end off on this note by the 8th. That's going to be a Friday. So out of curiosity, let's take a look at that temperature patterns. All right, now here they are. We're in a very cold pattern right now. Things warm up out ahead of this severe weather outbreak, obviously, but the cold front really comes through and crushes that. We get another cool down here. We get another warm up that tries to build in. Look at how warm it is during the day on Wednesday, April 6th, better yet. And then we see this cool down really come through again. So we get this next violent cool down there at the end of the model run. That could change. Take it with a grain of salt, but that is the look as of right now, according to this model. Now, I know that was very quick, but nothing has really changed since we made yesterday or the day before's video. So let's go ahead and break down the severe weather threat real quick. So we're taking a look at our convective available potential energy. This is thunderstorm fuel here. Let's take a look at the day today, and we can see that we do get quite elevated amounts. Anywhere in here, we're really seeing anywhere from about 700 to 1,000, and the 1,000 plus amounts are mostly up here in Kansas and Oklahoma, and this is by about 8 p.m. tonight. And we can see those storms start to eat away at this right about there at about 12, 1, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. You see them eating away at it, but there will be a lot of potential here. So that is definitely worth noting. So shear is absolutely going to be out of control as well. I think this is worth mentioning. Very high shear in this area, so this is why tornadoes will be very, very possible throughout the day today. Let's move towards tomorrow. We're taking a different view here. We're going to do the Cape as well. So this is by about 10 a.m. or so. Here's by about 1 p.m. and we can see the 1,000 plus amounts all throughout Louisiana, Mississippi, and southern Alabama as well. And then eventually we see this really become exclusive for the southern region by the time we're reaching about 2 a.m. or overnight the next day. So the severe weather could be lingering, but really it's going to be pretty limited overnight to the southern regions. Let's take a look at that overall shear for this day, and I think it could get a bit worse here, obviously. So here's really what we're looking at, very high shear throughout this region. And if you didn't know, shear leads towards very damaging wind events usually, and also tornado events. Those are the two things we usually look for in these high shear type events, and we definitely see that this time around. Let's take a look real quickly at Thursday as well, the Cape, as things move through. This is as far as we can get to about 2 p.m. on Thursday, but this is when we will see severe weather in here, and we see these 500 amounts in here, 500 to 1,000 amounts up here, so we will have plenty of that convective available potential energy on day 3 as well. And look, the shear is going to be pretty high throughout the eastern United States as well, which will make tornadoes possible, I'm almost certain, on day 3, even up into these regions. So we will be watching very closely for that as well. Let's just go ahead and break down the storm prediction center real quick. All right, now here's the day 1 categorical outlook. We have a general thunderstorm risk here in the lighter green, which is where you guessed it, expect general thunderstorms. Darker green, that's going to be our marginal risk, and that's where we expect isolated severe weather to be possible, but not super likely yet. It's the yellow region where severe weather becomes a little bit more likely there. Texas up through Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and even Arkansas there. That is where we expect scattered severe weather to be possible in there. So a very large yellow region there that we see. And I would not be surprised if we at least get an enhanced risk at some point today. I'm actually very shocked we don't have one yet. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that enhanced risk thrown in there at some point. Matter of fact, I'd be more surprised if we don't see it thrown in there at some point. So we will be watching for that. Here's the individual outlooks real quick. Here's the damaging wind outlook. We have a 5% chance of damaging wind within 25 miles of a given location there within the green, and then a 15% chance there within the yellow. All right, hail outlook. Same thing, except a little bit smaller on the yellow region, 5% in the green, and then a 15% chance there within the yellow. Tornado here, we have a 2% chance there within the green, and then a 5% chance there within the brown. That's going to be for Dallas-Fort Worth area, and then also Oklahoma City area as well. So that's worth noting, 2 major cities in there. Let's move towards day 2, and things are not looking good, clearly. We have general thunderstorm risks here. We have 2, 1 here, and then 1 very large one here, obviously, where, again, we expect general thunderstorms. We have a marginal risk in here, which is the darker green region, which is where we are expecting isolated severe weather to be possible. The yellow region is our slight risk area, and that is where we're expecting scattered severe weather. The enhanced region there, which is the orange one, is where we're expecting widespread severe weather to become possible in there for states like Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, southern Illinois, portions of Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and then even the Florida panhandle there. And then our red region here is our moderate risk, which is the second highest risk you can get. Some years you don't even get a high risk, which is the only level that is even higher. So moderate risk is very, very high, and it is reserved for only the worst of severe weather events, or at least what we think will be the worst of severe weather events. So this is not looking good, and that is a very large moderate risk, which makes me nervous that even a high risk can't be ruled out. Although I will say that the conditions compared to what I've seen with typical high risk events don't look as elevated as we've seen in years past. So I would be a bit surprised to see a high risk in this event. I think this will stay a moderate, in my opinion, unless things start looking worse, which is obviously good news. But still, moderate risk, it's looking very bad at this point. Now, damaging wind outlook here. We have a 5% chance there within the green, a 15% chance there within the yellow, a 30% chance here within the red, and then a 45% chance within the purple. Basically a 50-50 shot of damaging wind within 25 miles of a given location there. And then that hatched area is indicating very strong winds will be possible, even higher than what is typical for a severe weather event. I think it's 70 plus or something. I forget exactly what it is, but it is very high damaging winds. Now here's the hail. We only have a 5% chance of hail, actually, so this isn't looking like a high hail day. This doesn't really surprise me because the Cape is limited. I usually associate high Cape events with very large hail events. So when we see low Cape events, usually you don't expect hail. That's just an observation that I have made. And then as we move towards the tornado outlook, things are not looking good. 2% chance there within the green, 5% chance there within the brown, 10% chance within 25 miles of a given location there within the yellow, and then a 15% chance here within the red of a tornado occurring within 25 miles of a given location. And then again, we have that hatched area. You see the black hatched area? That's indicating EF2 or higher tornadoes will be possible within that region. Obviously, it's possible within any region, but it's particularly possible within there. We see the parameters that indicate it will be sufficient for those types of tornadoes, major tornadoes, unfortunately. Now, quickly, before we close things out, we do have a day 3 outlook here. We don't have the individual outlooks, but we do have the categories here. We have a general thunderstorm risk there within the lighter green. We only see a little bit of that popping out for these regions. We see a marginal risk here, a very large marginal risk here within the dark green, indicating isolated severe weather will be possible. And then 2 slight risk areas here where scattered severe weather will be possible within these 2 yellow regions. So we're going to be watching for that as well. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we actually remain at a 5 out of 6. I feel very confident in what we're looking at here. And I feel like as we've moved closer, we've gotten information that really just solidifies together and gives us a good picture of what to expect, which is good news. Usually, obviously knowing what's going to happen is a really, really good thing. For today's patron, highlighted today, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Craich, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Lil the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Kodalasa, Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Gary's, and John Khaleesi also. I would also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Finn, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.